Hi everyone, it's Christy. If you're watching this, you're probably in a very tough place, and I really want to get some clarity back into your life if you're wondering if you should break up with her or not, or try to make things work. And this is a situation a lot of men go through, being on the fence, being conflicted, not knowing whether the positives or the negatives, which one outweighs each other. How do you decipher that? What is more important? What is a red flag? And so let's really break it down together, because this is a common question and issue that a lot of my clients go through. And so I thought I would just make a video of it, okay? Visualize this. Have you ever shared a casual night in with your girlfriend or partner, maybe watching a movie? Okay, and you're catching that your headspace is somewhere else. Maybe you've had a really bad week and you've gone through a ton of arguments and scream fights, and you finally caught a moment to relax. And you catch yourself catching glimpses over at her. You're looking at her, staring at her side view, her nose, her eyelashes, and you're savoring this moment of calmness, and you're finding your heart soften a little bit. But you catch yourself thinking and asking yourself, is this woman really the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with? So this may be what you're going through, and understanding whether or not you are making the right choice in a life partner seems really hard these days, especially for men. And I'm not trying to be a pick-me-up girl here or trying to take your side to get your reassurance or anything, but generally and rationally speaking, the data is really against men, okay? Most of the times with divorce rates going up and the splitting of assets and things like that, divorce rates being at like more than 60% now, it hasn't been a more scary, frightening, and fearful place to be in when you're trying to understand whether or not you want to marry or commit to a woman fully. So I get it. It's really challenging. But I think, to be honest, and I'm really speaking as a woman of just data point of view, men have way more to lose than women, okay? Excuse me. Just the data wise, I'm not saying there's no women out there that have really suffered because of divorces and things like that, okay? But just rationally speaking, men, you have more to lose if you're not making a wise choice as to whether or not you're selecting the right partner for you to spend the rest of your life with, okay? Because you don't want to be part of the statistics, right? If you're struggling in understanding whether or not you should stay or leave, then you really need to understand the differences between value and love. Okay, and this is what I'm going to break down in today's video, and hopefully it will give you some more clarity onto your situation and really give you a sense of whether or not you should stay or leave. So before I begin, I just want to ask, if you're old here, welcome back. I'm really appreciative that you find this information in my videos helpful. But if you're new here, welcome. I'm Christy, and I make videos in psychology and relationships, specifically for men, because I think we need to break some of the barriers as to mental health being specifically and solely emotion-based. It should be rational, it should be logical, it should be data-driven, and so that's why I really think men resonate with some of the things that I say. So if you like videos like this and you find that you do need a second opinion on how to understand what is going to be helpful for you in developing a good life, a good mental health, and a good relationship, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the like button, and it really will help me build up this community, helps the algorithm, and obviously helps me continue creating free value for you guys and really push the monologue that mental health is different for men, but it doesn't mean it's not important, right, gentlemen? So let's get straight to the video. Okay, first off, if you are trying to understand whether or not you want to break up with her or stay or leave, you need to understand what is love. Okay, and it's not some feel-good thing that I'm about to kind of describe to you, but what is love to you? And I ask this question to a lot of my clients a lot. Hey, Tom, what does love mean to you? What does love mean to you? And you get a lot of blank stares. You don't really know, because love is a chemical that can confuse a lot of you, okay? And if you don't have something tangible to go by, you will be in the traps of all the emotions, all the feel-good chemicals, all the hormones, all the pheromones, all the beautiful and exciting sex, and not really know when to leave, because that is the toxin that really keeps you on board. That's what biology does, to keep you tied up in order to reproduce. That's what those chemicals are for, in order for you to be attracted enough to engage into the, hunky-bunky kind of sexual acts, right? To recreate and procreate a baby, and your mission, generally speaking, in ancestral times are done, okay? That's the purpose of these chemicals. So love nowadays means completely different, okay? It's to build a life with someone, a life partner, not just the sex, not just the hormones, okay? So you need to know that there's a difference. So to me, and I really want clients to ask themselves whether or not you're at a point of staying or leaving, is whether or not your relationship has loyalty, okay? Love to me really means loyalty. And what does loyalty mean at the end of the day? It's two people having the best interests of each other in mind and putting each other first. You need to have two people do that at a constant basis in order for this theory to work. If you only have one person, let's say you, Tom, at the end of the day, putting her best interests and her in mind, and you put her first, and she's not doing the same to you, that's not love, okay? That's just you fulfilling this unfilled gap that you're scared of losing, because at least you're getting the hormones and the chemicals and the sex and the date nights and the validation from a romantic partner that you need. But it's not giving you loyalty. It's not love, okay? You're fulfilling the chemicals need of you, the chemical gap that you need, but not so much the long-term variable that you need, which is two people with the utmost loyalty of each other. I equate that as love, pure love. And you may find that kind of dynamic apparent in relationships with your guy friends, your dude friends. At the end of the day, you know they have your back, or your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother, people that you generally know at the end of the day are the utmost loyal to you, and you are going to be for them as well, okay? It's important to have that proponent before we talk about the second point. So let's go to the second point. If you've checked off the first box, which is your love has loyalty, although you guys fight and you guys scream at each other and you guys get into arguments, at the end of the day, you know deep down you have her best interest in mind and she has your best interest in mind, but you're still conflicted, okay? So the second point I want to go over is, men, you need to be aware, and if you're already in a corporate field, you have to run your relationships like it's a business, okay? It's probably one of the most important businesses that you're either going to work for or start, okay? So for some reason, a lot of my clients have a huge light bulb when I say this, but they don't think about relationships in this way. And so that's why I use this example to explain why relationships require a business aspect, okay? So if you're in a team or you're working for a business or you started, maybe you have your own business, you really want to understand whether or not the people that you're working with provides the skills that you need in order for you to solve a bigger problem for your customers, for the world, right? To make an impact. And so what kind of skills and competencies and values do you require in order for you to make a decision on whether or not this person is going to be complementary of that role and your team, and for you to solve issues faster and more efficiently for other people, for your business, right? And so skills like negotiation, having alignment in your mission and values, having a fine balance between optimism and pessimism. Is a person adaptable? Is she aggressive in a work sense of way, right? Does she have a growth mindset? Does she evolve? Does she have the urgency and hunger to evolve and grow? Is really, really, really important, okay? If you're not running your relationships like a business, you will, again, again, fall into the traps of the biological chemicals in which two romantic people will share, which is the feel-good feelings, like going on dates, sharing laughters and great sex, and all the chemicals that are supposed to be really amazing. But if it's seen as the only aspect of why you're staying, it's going to cause issues, right? So at this point, does your partner add value to you, and do you add value to her? Does 1 + 1 actually equate to 2? Are you guys both complementary in each other's blind spots? For instance, if you're highly optimistic, is she somewhat a little bit more pessimistic, but combined with the hunger to grow and evolve, together, you guys are able to conquer a problem in life that is in a different way, with a different light, with a higher level light, with more information, right? So, is she complementary? Does she fill in gaps in your life that you don't have? Do you do the same for her and make her grow? And most importantly, are you guys aware of your positives or your strengths and weaknesses? And do you guys delegate certain aspects of your relationship life or certain roles and obligations in your relationship life to your strengths? So maybe if, for instance, I'm a very, very nurturing and feminine and emotional woman, I'm speaking about myself, and I do have the tendency to ask my partner, and a little bit too many times, how they're doing. Is there something that I'm doing wrong? I'm a little bit more anxious. Did I do something to make you upset? Or can I support you a little bit more? Are you feeling okay? Your facial expression looks like you're upset, right? And you say no, and I dig a little bit more, right? And it feels good. Maybe men don't do that often, and having a woman provide that for you in your life really, really helps you grow as a man. Maybe dig into your emotions a little bit more after a bad day, and you are able to feel safe in your vulnerability a little bit more, or just be aware that it feels good to have a woman care about you in that sense, right? In an emotional sense. So, or maybe roles like ensuring that I'm overly thinking about the children's safety while you are highly optimistic and highly risky. We're about to go to a trip to the beaches, maybe to Bermuda, let's say, and if it was a guy, maybe you would just bring sunscreen, 2 pairs of shorts, and a t-shirt and call it a day. But a woman, I'm gonna overthink. I'm gonna be the type of person that's going to want the entire checklist to be checked off, all the possibilities of the things that can go wrong to be checked off. And so I'm gonna bring like 10 pairs of underwear for the children, and sunscreen and hats and extra snacks for the plane and all that stuff. And from 1 suitcase it got changed to 2 suitcases, but at the end of the day, maybe that is going to be productive if you have children, to have a woman who's going to overthink a tiny bit, right? So do you complement each other? Are there things in which she does for you that you normally don't do? And are there aspects that she doesn't do that you normally do? So I have my partner tell me, hey babe, like it's going to be okay. The kids are going to be fine, right? You don't have to put sunscreen on them every 15 minutes, right? So it helps to have a complementary aspect of things. But what I'm trying to say is run your relationships like a business. 1 + 1 should equal 2. It should never go against each other, and understand whether or not she provides value in her own way and you provide value in your own way to equate to 2, right? You don't have to have a partner that is a replica and a photocopy of you. Then you're just gonna have 2 people with like a photocopy, and it's 1 + 1 in that case is going to equal to 1. So that is point number 2, and I really hope you start thinking about that. And this builds on to point number 3, which is how we combine the first 2 points into the final one. So obviously you cannot have a relationship be like a business. There's no love, you don't get sex, right? And sometimes you care about someone to the core that it's hard to see them like a business contract, right? But I'm just saying a healthy balance of 2 is very important. And what that means is love and running your relationship like a business should equate to 2 very important proponents, which is loyalty plus value. So If you're trying to decide whether or not you are going to stay or leave, you need to really understand, is there love and is there a business aspect to it? And which one can you work on if you find that there is an issue more in one component than the other? Because the combination of the two really can propel you in a beautiful, beautiful relationship. Now, if you have the business aspect and things are kind of boring, but there's no love aspect, there's no loyalty aspect, then that may be something that you need to start working on and communicating on and building the love and building the spark. And how to build love and spark is a totally different. Comment down below if you want me to make a video on that, okay? But if you guys share the same visions and the same mission and you guys have the same goals and she has negotiation skills and she's adaptable and she's growth oriented, but for some reason you guys feel disconnected, then you need to build the fun aspect of life, the excitement. You need to build your masculine energy in order to increase her feminine energy. You need to make her feel like a woman. You need to make her feel like a good girl to you. She wants to be a good girl to you, and she needs to make you feel like a man, like the man of the house, that the sex is great and so powerful and so animalistic, right? If the love aspect is missing, work on the love. If more often than not, it's the business aspect of the relationship that a lot of my clients find it hard to decipher. And so start with bite-sized pieces. But what I mean is, if there's a business aspect and a love aspect in your relationship, it will equate to loyalty and complementary value, which is, I think, the most beautiful part of a relationship. So if you don't have either one of these, or you have one or the other, and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to stay or leave, work on those aspects and it will give you more clarity as to whether or not to stay or leave. Or you might be at a point in this point where you know she has no negotiation skills, you know she doesn't align with your mission and values and vision in life, you know she doesn't want to work on a healthy balance of logic and emotions, emotional responses, right? Then you might have your answer. You have a team member who is not going to add value to the team and to the business. And although you have love, although you are loyal to her and she is utmost loyal to you, she doesn't want to change. And that is not going to be healthy for anyone's business or anyone's relationship. Now, this brings me to the very last point. And this is one question that I need you guys to ask yourself and reflect on if you get anything out of this video, okay? This question is one that a lot of people don't ask themselves if they're in love, and they tend to swift under the rug because they are in love and because they're waiting for things to change, or because you are maybe scared of taking the risk to look for someone else and you're settling. Whatever the reason is making you feel conflicted, okay? A really important question that I want you to answer that hopefully can give you some more clarity as to whether or not you should continue working on it or leave is this one. Does the partner that is sitting in front of you right now, or maybe she's not sitting in front of you, or does your partner or girlfriend in your life provide a net increase or net decrease in reaching all of your goals? Okay, now this one is one that is extremely important and kind of encapsulates the 1 + 1 = 2, that the relationship together should help you guys strive faster, reach higher level goals, right? But it's really important to understand, after you do this exercise, is there a net positive or net negative in the relationship, and is it helping you reach your goals, or is it creating extra barriers? I don't like using the word stress, okay? Because stress sometimes is because men don't know how to communicate it or voice it out or deal with it. But if you are addressing some of the aspects in which I asked you to address, which is the skills and the values and the running your relationship like a business, and you've already tackled all that, and you know she's loyal, you really want to ask yourself, does this relationship provide a net increase or decrease in reaching your goals? Does it make you reach your goals faster? Does it derail you in reaching your goals? Is she trying to convince you that you're never going to make it? Or is she trying to convince you to not take the risks that you really, really want to take? Or is she trying to change the vision that you have for yourself in the future, right? You really want to ask yourself whether or not it's either not just slowing you down, but derailing your ability to reach your goals faster, right? Really important. You never want to have a person be injected into your life and for you to forget all of your goals and all of your ambitions and all the things that you said you wanted to do. So ask yourself that question. Does the partner that I have in my life right now provide a net positive or net negative in reaching our goals, your relationship goals? It should be a net positive for it to make sense. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. I know this is not the common therapy lingo, therapy tactics, therapy strategies in which a lot of people, coaches, therapists, and even mental health practitioners use in order to help you solve your problems. But I hope you found that this was an actionable and easy to understand way of gaining some clarity and tangible topics for you to reflect on and answer. And I hope this video gave you some resolve as to what you should do. So if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and comment down below what you found helpful. What are you going to do after this video? Whether or not your relationship has both love, loyalty, right? Love equates to loyalty, and business valuable aspects of skills and competency and healthy, complementary, supportive skills in relationships. And you guys are optimizing that. I want to know whether or not you have each of them. And if you don't, what does your partner or you need to work on, or whether or not your partner right now is too much at a net negative for you to even think that there's any worthwhile saving of the relationship. Okay, tell me all of your thoughts. I hope you found this video helpful. Until next time, I'm obviously Christy, and please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye, gentlemen.